General, you mentioned on page 8 of your testimony the ceasefire violations in Ukraine. The majority of them are being committed by Russian-led forces. Senator Warren mentioned fake news. How helpful are the OSCE monitors in giving us the correct picture there? And then I have a couple of other questions about OSCE.
Senator, thank you. OSCE is very important to this. One of the issues is that their job is to monitor activities and compliance with the agreement on both sides of the line of contact. And in fact, Russia is well known that they're intimidate and restrict the mission monitors in their job, which is one of the things that we need to encourage and insist that Russia stop doing and begin to allow the OSCE to do its job properly.
What can we do in that respect?
Well, I think in that respect, sir, we need to bring the international community together with respect to Russia and you know, their lack of movement on the Minsk. They say publicly they're in support of the Minsk agreement, but personally, I think if you watch their actions, there doesn't seem to be steps taken on their part to do just that.
Okay, they're doing a lot of exercises there and in all of Europe. One of the techniques they use to try to get around their commitments is the SNAP exercise designation. Can you tell us about that?
These exercises reflect Putin's focus on his modernization. It reflects his intent to make their forces more responsive, to improve their mobilization, but it also is a part of intimidation, I would say. The SNAP exercises themselves are typically broadcast as much smaller than they end up being. Some of them are not announced at all, in contravention to the Vienna document and the treaties that we have there. So that's very disturbing, and it's a way that you can have miscalculation. And we know in the past, at least with Crimea, they've used an exercise to shield what was a violation of the sovereignty of Ukraine.
But they also continue to do exercises in Crimea. What's the significance of the most recent Russian exercise in Crimea?
To me, the significance is that, well, there's several of them. One is that they do both defensive and offensive operations as a part of that SNAP exercise. They rehearsed attacks on the eastern border, actually flew toward it. Those kinds of activities, which are very disturbing and create, you know, a lot of angst along the eastern border, and within EUCOM being able to watch this and understand what's their real intent. So it's the way they run the operations and without transparency that creates the problem. They have the right to do military exercises. They need to do them in a way that's constructive, in line with our agreements.
But they don't have a right to do the no-notice exercises under their agreements.
Under the agreement, it has to be announced if it's over 9,000 troops, and it has to be observed if it's 13,000 or more. There has to be an allowance for observers if we choose to do so, and their SNAP exercises are much larger than that, almost 100,000 if you take them, and if you take them in all the different exercises that happen simultaneously.
Should we be concerned about trends in Russian activity in the North Atlantic?
Yes, we should. They're more aggressive. They are reestablishing bases in the Arctic and North Atlantic. We have to go back to establishing the same deterrence that we practiced during the Cold War, in my view.
Is there a forum where we are engaging with them diplomatically about that?
I don't know the forum personally. I know that we've engaged with them diplomatically, but I couldn't tell you the forum, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.